Hi class, welcome to another session on rehabilitation engineering. So we have been discussing the various topics of our second unit. So let us move on to the next one, which is the key engineering principles. So you might argue saying that we have already done the rehabilitation engineering principles, which are like how do you analyze a problem, how do you synthesize a solution, how do you evaluate it, and then you take a decision and then finally implement it. So that's already been done, right? So what is the point of now key engineering principles? Isn't everything that were to be discussed already been discussed? However, there's a subtle difference. Now, rehabilitation engineering as such is a multidisciplinary field, right? So we know that we've already had, people from various other branches who are coming in and giving their implementing their expertise in making the patient's life better. So obviously, we are using a number of different engineering principles, like a number of theories from different engineering genre or different engineering branches are being implemented in order to develop an assist device. For example, let us take a wheelchair problem where we were trying to elevate the limbs of a person seated in the wheelchair through an automatic lever system. Now, in order to develop that, you need principles of mechanical engineering because you need to, develop mechanical designs for the linkages and everything to raise the foot. Then you need principles of, you need biomechanical analysis, like exactly how much force is being subjected to which part of the footrest and whether the footrest is strong enough to withstand that much force and everything. And then you have the electrical engineering part where you're selecting various motors to, develop a noise-free elevation and, an elevation system. And then you have the electronics associated with it, the user interface that you're giving the user to operate the system and so on. So we can see that it is multidisciplinary field. Therefore, you require principles of engineering in various other fields to be implemented while doing the rehabilitation engineering part as well. Because just because I fancy a stepper motor does not mean that I can, defy the principles of stepper motor and use it in a different way. If a stepper motor elevates or if a stepper motor operates in various step angle, then that is something that I need to accept. And if that is working for me, I shall consider a stepper motor. Otherwise, I shall consider another motor, say servo motor or some other motor. Just because I like the name stepper motor does not mean that I can manipulate the principles of operations of stepper motor and use it for my purpose. That is not possible, right? Therefore, when you are like developing a device that is borrowing concepts from other engineering principles, you have to make sure that you follow the rules and regulations of that branch of engineering. So that is mandatory, and that is what the key engineering principles also summarize. Biomechanical analysis of the part of the body that is receiving support. Should be mandatorily done, and guidelines and various standards associated with that particular associated with with the device where it is being used, like in a particular country or in a particular region. So region specific guidelines and then the country specific guidelines are also available. So we have to adhere to all these regulatory field as well while we are generating or while we are developing the assist device. So that is engineering principles to you. So you have key ergonomic principles as well. So what is ergonomics? It is the branch of science that is concerned with the understanding of the interactions between the humans and other elements of the system. So there are basically 7 ergonomic principles. Principle of proper positioning, principles of anatomical control site, principles of simplicity and intuitive operations, principles of display suitability, principles of allowance of recovery from errors, and principles of adaptability and flexibility, and finally, principles of mental and chronological age appropriateness. So let us see each one of these in detail now. So principles of propositioning is very essential during all phase of design procedure. For example, if a person requires support for you know for, while using a particular assist device, then a physio or OT familiar to the patient should also be consulted, and the engineer should ensure that or at any given point of time the trunk, arms and legs of the individual are always supported and stable, because while we are having the rehabilitation session, we do not want the patient to suddenly fall off, right? Our main aim is to prevent them from falling and improving their disability. That is our main aim. So we have to make sure that while using our assist device, the patient is very stably positioned. Improper support also can lead to disruption in equilibrium, so which in turn can affect an individual's ability to perform required tasks. A very trivial example is if you are seated in a bench that is very uncomfortable and attending lecture sessions hour after hour after hour, right? At some point, you become at some point your body starts to ache because of the poor seating position. That might be because of discomfort, that might be because of the choice of yourself or of your the way you're seated, because you should sit erect and some people they just slack on their chair. So it can be because of postural like poor posture. So all these are examples. Now, ultimately, you are in pain either because of bad choice of seating arrangement or poor posture, and you won't be able to concentrate what the lecturer or what your expert is trying to convey to you. So, if a person is comfortable in his or her seated position and well supported, then they are more likely to respond to your rehabilitation and they are more likely to reap benefits out of it. So, for example, an individual with poor trunk stability, the function of the arms are limited because they use their arms to support while being seated. So, if their trunk is not stable enough, they are using their arms to support their trunk. So they can't just lift their arm and do something else. Again, so if their trunk is well supported, or if they are strapped properly in the wheelchair, then their arms are free to do whatever they want. Again, an individual with poor arm support will have difficulty in using devices such as keyboard, irrespective of how big the keyboard is and how user-friendly your interface is. If they have poor arm support, they can't use it. So that is principles of proper positioning for you. We shall discuss more key ergonomic principles in the subsequent videos. Till then, take care and bye-bye.